I just platinumed God of War 3, and man, did this game not make me grow hair on my chest, on my chest. This game just made me grow hair in a lot of places. What I mean by that, this has to be the most testosterone-inducing game I've ever played. This game is literally just about you killing each and every Greek god on Olympus. Well, not really every single one of them, because you do kill a few in the previous games, but you get the point. Well, there is one god you don't kill, and I guess you do now. Well, we'll get to that in the journey. But before I do get on to that, I am going to give you guys a brief explanation of the first and second game for God of War before I get into the third one. Now, that means you should, if you know the story, then you should skip to this time right here. Yes, this one. And if you don't, then you should watch this so you can know what the point of this game is. Sorry, there's a mosquito. Anyway, just a quick disclaimer before I get into the whole lore. I will not be including the extra games called Chains of Olympus and Ascension, specifically because it is really just extra information. It's not really important to the lore. But anyway, the story starts off with you as this boy named Kratos, who is a Spartan warrior who was, well, a Spartan warrior ever since he was a child. So he ends up getting trained up until, well, adulthood, and he gets turned into a Spartan general. Turned into, that's not the right way of saying it, but we're gonna keep it that way. He gets turned into a Spartan general and, well, gets into a bunch of wars, wins the wars, but there's one specific war against a bunch of barbarians, and he ends up losing that fight. So he calls upon the god of war Ares and he sells his soul. Yes, he lost the fight and decided to sell his soul to win the fight after he lost the fight. Anyway, after all of that, Ares ends up leading him to attacking a village which has his family inside without his knowing, and he ends up killing his family with his own hands too. Not only does he go to the village to attack it with his family, but he ends up killing his family, being his daughter and wife. And then he swears vengeance upon the god of war, Ares, and now we open this Pandora's box, the box called Pandora's box, and that'll grant him the powers to kill a god. So that's what he does. He opens the box, and as soon as he opens the box, special things happen. But from out of nowhere, a sword comes from outside the cave. Yes, it was in a cave in a mountain, and goes straight through Kratos' stomach. Yes, this is Kratos' first death. Yes, he has died many times. Now, after this death, Kratos ends up crawling out of hell. Yes, Kratos was sent down to the pits of hell, but he ends up crawling out. Goes, finds Ares. The gods give him the Blade of Olympus. He kills Ares, and then he tries to kill himself, but the gods end up bringing him back to life and saying, since the God of War title has now been dismantled, it needs a new owner or else havoc will happen, and that's where Kratos is now turned into a god. That is the first God of War game. Now moving on to the second. He was a very unfair god, and the other gods saw this, but they saw the power he had, and they ended up getting fear, and they end up doing some trickery, baiting him down to go and fight that, and then they pretend to help him again, but they end up taking his power and using it to kill him. Now here's the part I kind of forgot. I don't know how he survives again. He might have crawled out of hell now and something else happened before, but I don't remember. But he ends up surviving, and now boom, we are now hunting down the gods. And in order to hunt down the gods, first we hunt down the Sisters of Fate. Yes, we hunt down Fate itself. Now, on the way there, we kill a guy named Icarus and we take his wings. Not really important, but we do end up doing that, like, yeah. We kill Fate, yes, Kratos, the guy, kills Fate. He kills Fate. You see, Fate knows what's happened, and then he, well, kills Fate. And then after he kills Fate, he ends up getting the power to reverse time, because that's what they can do apparently. And he goes back in time and he stops Zeus from killing him when he killed him earlier ago at the beginning of the game. So after all of this, he ends up going to kill Zeus with the Blade of Olympus, and what ends up happening is another god named Athena jumps in front of the way, takes the stab, and she dies. Zeus runs away, and now Mother Nature, or otherwise known as Gaia, calls upon Kratos and tells him that there is a way that they could defeat the gods, and that is that if he uses his power to go back in time and bring back the giants from the Great War, or I don't really know what the war was called, but there's a war between gods and giants, and to bring those giants back to help defeat the gods, he does that, and now we are on the way climbing Olympus to kill the gods. Yes, story ended. Boom. I hope that gave you a brief summary, but it is time to move on to the Platinum. Now, the God of War Platinum has a total of 35 trophies in a 4 out of 10 difficulty on PSN profiles. Now, if I'm going to be 100% with you, I'd put it up to a 5. It's not a difficult Platinum, but it does take dedication. Since there is only one version of the game, being the PS4 version, I already kind of played the game, so I kind of got quite a few trophies and I could not redo it, so let's speed run those trophies. So the first trophy we end up getting is Torn Up. We end up killing Poseidon for another. We end up getting the Bow of Apollo. We end up hitting your stride. We get bloody hell. We kill Hades. We serve Gaia's hand. We kill Helios. We kill Hermes. We kill Hercules. We we smash Aphrodite. Whoa. Hold on. Hear me out. I did say there was a god that you don't really kill, but you do kill something. So when I was younger, I didn't know it was a trophy, but I got the option. Anyway, no gluts, no glory, open sesame, Titan Slayer by killing Kronos, solve Hera's gardens. You end up killing Hera as well, by the way, just in case you want to know. Freezer burn, save Pandora, collect all of the Phoenix feathers, solve the 3 judges, kill Zeus, and that is all of the trophies we got in my first playthrough. Now, I did kind of mix up the names and then actually doing the trophy. I did want to mention the gods that I did kill, because that's kind of it. No, it's not. Did it say Hephaestus? You end up killing a god named Hephaestus, which is the god of crafting, I think. Anyway, now moving on to the new journey. The first trophy we end up getting is Mr. Hand, or Discover Hades' Secret Room. Now, if I'm going to be 100% with you, I have no idea how I did not unlock this trophy sooner. It is so simple. It is so damn simple. Yes, you end up getting that trophy, and immediately after that we end up getting the trophy called It's Getting Hot in Here. I know, I'm very attractive. I'm sorry, that was cringe. That was very cringe. But the trophy is you end up burning 100 enemies with the Bow of Apollo, which is very time consuming, if I must say. If you weren't using that bow often, which I didn't, it takes some time. But we ended up getting the trophy, and yeah. And the next trophy we end up getting is Deliver 50 Kicks to Hounds. Now this is called Obedience School, and now there is a spot in the game where infinite hounds spawn, literally infinite of them, and I took that to my advantage to get 2 trophies, which is to kick 50 hounds and to blind 100 enemies with the head of Helios, which I'm not going to explain to you why we have his head, but we have his head. Now moving on to the next trophy is to perform a 1000 hit combo, or Hitman. Now, there is also a spot on the map where you can glitch a bunch of enemies just before you kill Kronos, and well, if you do a specific move with Hades' weapon, you can get that 1000 hit combo. And on to the next trophy is to eye candy, or collect all of the Gorgon eyes. Now, you may have heard the horns or the Gorgon eyes, or there was another one, but I call the feathers. Yeah, I remembered. Anyway, so you have 3 specific bars that you need in the game. There's health, magic, and a yellow one, which I never knew the name for it. But the Gorgon Eyes ends up giving you max health, which is what we ended up getting. Yes. And on to the next trophy is collect all of the godly possessions. I guess I can understand how I didn't get this trophy, but I don't either, because I mean, it wasn't that difficult. You just have to, after you kill a god or something happens to a god, just go explore around their body and you will find a possession. But anyway, moving on to the next trophy is sold out or summon every soul with the claws of Hades. Now there is a how do you say this? There is a selection of different things you can summon with the claws of Hades or Hades weapon after you kill him, and well, you have to upgrade the weapon to the max to end up getting that trophy. So we got the trophy. Now to the next trophy is Horn of Plenty, which is to collect all the Minotaur horns, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no memory of which one this max upgrades. I think it is magic. Nope. But that's only because I remember magic. I don't know what the yellow thing is, but yes, we end up getting that trophy. The next trophy is maxed out or completely upgrade all of your weapons. I also have no idea how I did not do this in my first playthrough. Now in my first playthrough I did play on normal difficulty, which is like, I still don't know how. That's not an excuse. I ended up having over 100,000 red gem orbs to spare on easy mode. In easy mode, 100. You don't understand how much 100,000 orbs is. It's not that much, but it's quite a lot. Okay. And immediately after that we end up beating the game. Now, in case you're wondering why I did not get this trophy, well, let's say at the beginning is because, so at the end of the game you have to beat up Zeus, so you just like punching him, and I thought that a cutscene would like just play because I did YouTube it, but it turns out that you were supposed to let go of punching him, and then yeah, but I didn't do that and I thought my game glitched and I uninstalled it, so I only got the trophy in like now. And now we are moving on to the next stage of trophies, which is to beat Titan mode. Now that is the next trophy we got. There's literally no more trophies to get other than to beat Titan mode, beat the Challenges Olympus, and beat the Labyrinth. So we beat Titan mode, which means we are now officially done with all of the story mode. So now we just move on to the Challenges of Olympus, and well, we do that in quite an easy amount of time. If I did hear that a lot of people said it's quite difficult or one of the most difficult trophies. I don't know what they were talking about. Now, if you counted correctly, you'd see that we only have 33 trophies. So I don't know why I took a pause there, but yes, we ended up missing a trophy called Amaze, where you have to beat the labyrinth without dying or failing. Now, I was following a YouTube guide named Superman. Thank you very much for that. Shout out to you for the platinum walkthrough. But I ended up missing out seeing that he did this trophy. So now we actually had to replay the game from the last time I saved. Now let's just say after a point I was actually saving on top of one another, so we went back quite far, like before the Hera, like solving the Hera trophy thing, all the way to getting to beat the labyrinth without dying or failing. And man, did that take time. That took a lot of time, but we ended up getting there, we ended up beating it, and then we got the platinum trophy. Now this is not what the rest of the videos are going to look like. I did kind of go kind of fast. I did go kind of fast, just speedrunning through the trophies, but that was because I didn't really have a specific order, and I also did platinum this game nearly a month ago. So I kinda, you know, should do, the next time I platinum a game, which I guess I should tell you guys, my next platinum is not going to be Red Dead. No, hold on. I was gonna say it's gonna be Red Dead Redemption 2, but I kind of realized that I think I'm gonna platinum games in between that. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of those games that are really, really rare to platinum. So I decided to dedicate myself to it because I absolutely love the game. That is my #1 game, and that's gonna take a lot of time. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this new way of kind of going through the platinums. It was fun, for me at least. But yes, I will see you in the next platinum video, because I'm a platinum gamer. Sorry, I had to burp, pardon me. I platinum games, and I want you guys to see me platinuming games, because damn, it takes time. This is supposed to take a total of 12 hours. Yeah, I think this took me like 20 or more, because I played the game twice. 3 times actually, but anyway, bye bye.